Can one guy save an empire from total collapse? In 602 CE, the Byzantine Empire's falling apart, armies are rebelling, and darkness looms. Enter Heraclus, a nobody who changes everything. How does he go from epic failure to hero, only to face a terrifying new enemy? This insane journey will blow your mind. Stick around for the wildest story in history, where one man fights against all odds to pull off the greatest comeback ever. Part 1. Phocas's brutal coup, plunging the empire into chaos and setting the stage for Heraclus's rise. Picture this, a mighty empire, once ruling the world, now falling apart at the seams. It's 602 CE, and the Byzantine Empire's in total chaos. Emperor Maurice, the guy who led his armies to crush invaders, is wiped out after years of brutal wars with the Persians. His troops just scored a huge win against the Slavs in the Balkans, and all they want is to head home, celebrate, and crash. But Maurice? He's got this genius plan. He orders his army to camp out in the Balkans all winter to save some cash instead of heading back to Constantinople. Talk about a bad call. The soldiers are exhausted, pissed off, and feeling totally betrayed. A storm's brewing, and it's about to hit hard. The army snaps. Led by a hot-headed officer named Phocas, they march on Constantinople, dead set on taking Maurice down. Phocas, a guy with big ambitions but zero skills, seizes the capital. In a brutal power grab, he orders Maurice's sons killed right in front of him, then slaughters the emperor himself. No royal bloodline left. Phocas crowns himself emperor, but man, he's a total disaster. He rules through fear, torturing and executing anyone who questions him. The empire starts cracking, people live in terror, the army's morale tanks, and enemies smell blood. Phocas makes a fatal mistake by wrecking peace with the Persians. A decade earlier, Maurice helped Persian king Khosrow II reclaim his throne, sparking a rare friendship between the empires. But when Khosrow hears his buddy Maurice is dead, he's out for blood, reigniting a savage war with the Byzantines. Persian armies, led by the badass general Sharbaraz, start tearing through eastern cities. The people of Constantinople are crushed. Once the heart of the world, the city's now gripped by fear and hunger. Folks whisper about the glory days, wondering if the empire can survive. Phocas isn't just a bad ruler, he's driving the whole nation off a cliff. Hope feels dead, and darkness is closing in. Is anyone out there who can pull them back from the brink? But from a far-off corner of the empire, one man's about to step up. A glimmer of hope is on the way. Buckle up, 'cause things are about to get wild. Part 2. Heraclus's brutal takedown of Phocas, establishing him as a bold leader with everything to prove. Imagine an empire drowning in darkness, its people trembling under the thumb of a tyrant named Phocas. But from a far-off corner, in 610 CE, a spark of hope ignites. Heraclus, son of Carthage's governor in North Africa, can't stand watching the empire crumble. He rallies a rebel army, dead set on marching to Constantinople to take Phocas down. This guy's journey is straight out of an action flick. An ordinary dude, no royal blood, stepping up to defy fate. With guts and hardcore belief, he leads his troops across the sea, carrying a dream to save the empire. When he hits the capital, Heraclus is floored by the sight, a once glorious city now starving and scared. But he's not backing down, this is his moment to shine. The showdown goes down. Heraclus storms into Constantinople, and it's pure chaos. Phocas's royal guard, led by his own brother-in-law, flips sides and hands over the tyrant. Phocas is dragged out, kicking and screaming, before a mob of rebel troops. Heraclus, standing tall, is stunned by the empire's decay. He roars, "This is how you've ruled." Phocas, sneering, spits back, "You gonna do better." Oh man, it's on. Heraclus doesn't mess around, Phocas is executed, and the crown's placed on Heraclus in Hagia Sophia. The crowd erupts, hope surging. Heraclus is emperor now, but he knows, taking out Phocas was just step one. A bigger threat's looming. The people of Constantinople come alive. Once hopeless, they now see Heraclus as their savior. Moms hug their kids, soldiers stand taller, believing the empire can rise again. But Heraclus isn't fooled. He knows the empire's in tatters, and the Persians under Khosrow II won't let up easy. Still, this moment's all about hope, a fresh start. Heraclus stands before Hagia Sophia, feeling the weight of destiny on his shoulders. Heraclus thinks he's saved the day, but a scarier enemy's waiting in the wings. The Persians are about to drop a hammer. Stick with us, 'cause things are about to get intense. Part 3, The Loss of the True Cross, symbolizing the empire's darkest hour. Heraclus just took the throne, carrying the hope of saving the empire, but it all crashes fast. In 613 CE, he leads his army to Antioch, facing off against Persian general Sharbaras. Heraclus is cocky, thinking this is his shot to prove he's the hero. But reality hits like a freight train. The Persians, led by the brilliant Sharbaras, steamroll through. The Roman army gets crushed, Heraclus barely escapes alive, limping back to Constantinople. The Antioch defeat is a punch to the gut, shaking his confidence. The Persians don't stop, they plow deeper, looting Byzantine cities, leaving smoke and chaos. Heraclus retreats, heart pounding with panic, wondering if he's got what it takes to keep going. The real disaster hits when the Persians take Jerusalem in 614 CE. The holy city falls with barely a fight. Sharbaras orders the Church of the Holy Sepulchre burned, snatching the true cross, the holiest relic in Christianity, and hands it to King Khosrow II as a trophy. News hits Constantinople like a bomb. People whisper, "God's abandoned us." The Slavs up north seize the chance, flooding the Balkans, while Goths hit Spain, and Sharbaras marches to Chalcedon, right outside Constantinople's gates. The empire's a candle in the wind, about to flicker out. Heraclus, once hailed as a savior, now faces doubt from his people and himself. Alone in his palace, Heraclus drowns in despair. He thinks about bailing, moving the capital to Carthage, even loading ships to flee. The empire, once stretching from Spain to Turkey, is now just a sliver around Constantinople. He wonders, am I a failure? The people, who once bet on him, pray in fear, sensing the empire's end. But in this darkness, a spark's about to ignite. One man's words are about to change everything. A vow at Hagia Sophia will light a fire in Heraclus. Stick around, 'cause the greatest comeback in history is about to kick off. Part 4. Heraclus's oath at Hagia Sophia, marking the shift from defense to offense. Heraclus hits rock bottom, the empire's in ruins, and he's this close to throwing in the towel. In 615 CE, the Persians are at Constantinople's gates, and Heraclus is thinking about bailing to Carthage. But one epic moment changes everything. The Patriarch of Constantinople, like the Pope of the Eastern Church, corners Heraclus in the palace. He drags him to Hagia Sophia, the massive cathedral glowing with golden mosaics. There, in this holy vibe, the Patriarch kneels, grabs Heraclus's hand, and says, "God hasn't ditched us. You're the empire's shot." Those words light a fire in Heraclus's heart. He realizes, running ain't his fate. The empire needs him to fight, and he's not backing down. Heraclus stands in Hagia Sophia, swearing to defend Constantinople till his last breath. The Patriarch pledges all the church's wealth. Gold, silver, relics, to rebuild the army. Heraclus, like he's got a new battery, orders every precious metal in the city melted down, from statues to jewelry, to forge weapons and pay soldiers. The people, from farmers to merchants, jump into the war effort. Women stitch armor, kids haul water for blacksmiths. Heraclus dives into Morris's war manuals, drilling his troops day and night, turning them into a lean, mean fighting machine. He declares, "We're not just holding the line. We're going on the attack." This bold move shocks everyone, but they trust their emperor. Constantinople's now a united fortress, ready for a do-or-die battle. The city's vibe shifts. People, once terrified, now stand tall. They sing hymns, pray for Heraclus, believing God's got his back. Heraclus, on the city walls, looks at his people and feels the power of unity. He knows the fight ahead's brutal, but he's not alone anymore. The empire, though tiny, is a family fighting for survival. This moment's like a torch lighting up the darkness. Heraclus is geared up to lead his army into battle, carrying a dream to reclaim the empire. But the Persians won't go down easy. Stick with us, 'cause an epic war's about to explode. Part 5, The Solo Duel at Nineveh, showcasing Heracles's bravery and smarts. It's go time for Heraclus. In 622 CE, he ditches Constantinople, leading a small but razor-sharp army into Persian turf. The city walls fade behind him as he takes a deep breath, raises a banner of Christ, and vows to reclaim the empire or die trying. His legion, though tiny, is a well-oiled fighting machine, ready to face the mighty Persians. Heraclus leads from the front, riding out despite his advisors' warnings. He knows, one slip-up could end it all. Marching into Anatolia, he gears up for a make-or-break battle. The Persians, led by badass General Sharbaraz, aren't ready for the Romans' fierce comeback. This is Heracles's moment to prove he's the hero the empire's been praying for. Things go wild at Nineveh in 627 CE. Heraclus sets a trap, luring the Persians into ancient ruins. As they chase, he orders an all-out assault. The Romans, like war gods, smash the Persian lines. Sharbaraz, caught off guard by Heracles's new strength, loses and bolts. But the real game-changer? Heraclus intercepts a letter from King Khosrow II, ordering Sharbaraz and 400 officers executed. Heraclus, playing 4D chess, adds names to the letter and sends it back. Furious at the betrayal, Sharbaraz rebels, ditching Khosrow. The peak hits at Nineveh when Persian general Razid challenges Heraclus to a solo duel mid-battle. Fearless, Heraclus steps up and drops Razid with one blow. Two more generals try him, but he cuts them down like nothing. The Persians panic, fleeing, leaving 6,000 dead on the field. The Romans roar, waving victory flags. Heraclus, standing in a bloody battlefield, feels destiny swinging his way. He marches to Dastagerd, torching Khosrow's summer palace in revenge for Jerusalem. The underdog Romans are flipping the script. Viewers feel the thrill, but Heraclus knows, the war's not over yet. Heraclus has crushed the Persians, but Khosrow's still stubborn. Can he end this war for good? Stick around, 'cause the ultimate victory's coming up fast. Part 6, Restoring the True Cross, symbolizing Heracles's triumph. Heraclus rolls back into Constantinople like a legit hero. In 628 CE, after crushing the Persians, he strides through the city gates, greeted like a savior. Crowds roar, tossing flowers, tears streaming from pure joy. The city, once gripped by fear, now glows with hope. Heraclus, on a white horse, holds up the true cross, the holy relic stolen by the Persians, now headed back to Hagia Sophia. His battle-worn troops stand tall, knowing they've saved the empire from the brink. Word spreads fast. Palestine, Syria, Mesopotamia, lost lands, are back. Heraclus, once a failure, is now the poster boy for epic victory. In Hagia Sophia, Heraclus sets the true cross on the dome, sunlight hitting it like a divine high five. The crowd kneels, singing hymns, thanking God for the empire's comeback. Over in Persia, King Khosrow II gets taken out by his own son, Kavad II, in a bloody coup. Kavad, seeing Heraclus's unstoppable vibe, hands back all the lands his dad snatched. The Sassanid Empire implodes in civil war, self-destructing. Heraclus, at the peak of glory, travels to Jerusalem, personally returning the true cross to its home. It's like a Hollywood epic, the hero wins, the empire's reborn, and the enemy's toast. Constantinople parties for weeks, hailing their emperor who brought back the light. Heraclus stands before his people, soaking in their love and gratitude. Moms hug their kids, old soldiers cry, calling him Rome's last defender. He thinks of great emperors like Constantine, proud he pulled the empire from darkness. But deep down, Heraclus feels a nagging unease. He knows this glory might not last. For now, though, it's all about joy, a nation reborn. Heraclus pulled off a miracle, but a new shadow's rising. A force way bigger is about to challenge the empire. Stick around to see what crazy twist comes next. Part 7, The Rise of the Islamic Empire, a gut-punch twist overshadowing Heracles's legacy. Heraclus just pulled off a miracle, saving the empire, restoring the true cross, and bringing back Byzantine glory. But as the confetti's still flying, a new shadow creeps in from the Arabian desert. A prophet named Muhammad's shaking things up, building an army and a new religion, Islam. His teachings spread like wildfire, uniting tribes into an unstoppable force. Heraclus, still high-fiving his win over the Persians, has no clue a bigger threat's coming. The Sassanid Empire, crushed by Heraclus, implodes in civil war, leaving a power vacuum. And Islam, like a storm, starts filling it, ready to challenge everything Heraclus fought for. Just a few years after Heraclus's big win, Muslim armies start hitting hard. They're not like the Persians, fast, fierce, and fueled by faith. Palestine, Syria, Mesopotamia, the lands Heraclus bled to reclaim, fall one by one. Constantinople, thinking it's safe, faces danger again. Heraclus's legacy, once shining bright, gets overshadowed by this new, badass empire. Now an old man, he watches his life's work slip away. This epic story doesn't get a happily ever after. Heraclus, the great hero, faces one final test history throws at him, and this time, he can't win. Heraclus stands on Constantinople's walls, staring south, heart heavy. His people, who once cheered him, now worry about what's next. His glory, though epic, was just a flash. This story reminds us even the greatest heroes can be outrun by fate. But Heraclus's journey is still legendary, a lesson in fighting against all odds. Heraclus went all in, but what happens to the empire? Wanna see how Islam takes down Constantinople? Check out the next video for the next wild chapter in this crazy history. Hit subscribe and share now.